What's up, everybody? Drew, aka Catching Rockets here. First things first, I looked over all of the usual stocks. I didn't see any setups for options that I liked. Um, so, I guess it is what it is. Definitely want to get on that more of making sure that I'm trying to find option setups for you guys. But today, nothing. Sorry. With that said, I'm going to delete some of this stuff from last week. Haven't been live for a couple of days. I'm really sorry. Been super busy with my kids' stuff, so unfortunately. Or I guess fortunately, depending on how you look at things. I need to chart weekly levels, so we'll start there. Just to be clear, when I say I haven't found any option setups, I'm very particular about what I'm willing to share with YouTube followers as far as calling out trades. I could easily find something, but what I share on YouTube, I have a pretty rigorous criteria that I go through that gives like a higher win rate. But with that higher win rate, I find a lot less trades. Oh, wait, what am I doing? This is developing week. It's like, gosh, that's a really small weekly profile there. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Oh, and then I was mad at myself too. I had said I was going to go live Friday, and I don't remember, but like, we got a pretty big move down at the open, and I'm like, oh, I probably missed the move. I got home from work like right around this candle here. I sat down at my computer and I was kind of watching, and I went short somewhere in this area here, and we got another nice sell-off. Anyway, I should have gone live, but I feel like I had missed the move, but I ended up catching a nice trade. Daily levels. I should also just share with you guys, I had a rough week last week trading. I didn't realize how bad it was. I didn't journal anything, not for any particular reason, just like lack of time kind of thing. I journaled today, and I was like, whoa, what the hell? It hasn't been a great week. Let me see, where are we? So I was up, like if we look at these 2 weeks, I was up, whatever, like 50%. Right now I'm up 36.1%. This whole week, like 2 trades, both losses. Fortunately, like smaller side. 6 trades. It looks like 5 losses, 1 win. 5 trades, 40% win rate. Took a bigger loss on that day. 2 trades, 1 win, 1 loss. 1 trade, just a loser. 2 winning trades on Friday. And then 1 winning trade. Or sorry, 2 winning trades Monday. Did not trade today. I don't know what's going on. Like, been having trouble sleeping. Last night I couldn't sleep. Woke up in the middle of the night. Ended up going downstairs because I didn't want to keep my wife awake. And then came back to bed at like 4 in the morning and went back to sleep. And I ended up sleeping till 11 o'clock this afternoon. Or this morning, depending on how you look at it. So I didn't even look at charts. Didn't even open a chart. Didn't even try to trade. Didn't do anything. All right. We have single prints at the bottom. That's always good. I'm definitely ready for some upside after the last week or two or whatever it's been. Having trouble like getting this. I think that's basically the midpoint, so I'll just leave that there. Oh, Roberto. It'll be the same. Under your PVP, you're just going to go monthly. Oops. And then 3 months. Value volume 68, row size 100. Okay. We have a poor high here. Same level as our weekly value area low. I believe we're already above it. This is good news that we're kind of on a little bit of a run after the close here, because we were getting into some ugly territory. If we look at our daily stuff on SPY, massive volume, right? On Friday. It's the largest volume we've had since November 20th. Then decreasing volume on Monday, but it's also a lot of volume still. Even less volume today. And today's, I guess, just like slightly above average volume. But we were able to break below this area where they accumulated, right? Which is kind of scary, would kind of lead to possibly us going to 624. They were able to bounce, bring it back inside of this area where they accumulated. And then today, they were struggling between being inside and outside of that area. As of right now, we barely closed just inside the box. And now they've run it back up, quite a few points after hours. So there's a chance that we've put in the low and that now they're going to go up and make a new higher high. We'll just have to see what happens. Would I consider the low candle today a strong low? What do you mean by the low candle today? This? All right, let's check out fear and greed. We should be in extreme fear. Yeah. And now let's look at the calendar for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Sorry. No, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm tripping. I had to check. I love it when the days all bleed together. There's just nothing going on tomorrow. The French president speaking in the middle of the night. It's not going to be affecting anybody. I'm not really sure exactly what you mean, Davis, by a strong low. This is a strong bounce. I feel like I should know what you're talking about, but I don't. Massive buying tail. is a bounce. Aries is back. What's up, brother? Um, I mean, everybody that's here that on the regular knows I've been worried about Aries. I've been checking in with him. We talked on the phone the other day, um, and yeah, yeah. All right. I feel like I'm missing something. Let's check out cluster charts, imbalance charts. Oh yeah, it's a strong low. It's just okay. I see. I don't know why my brain wasn't going there. Strong low and single prints are the same thing. Just single prints is the term used for TPO, and strong low would be volume profile. Strong high, volume profile, single prints at the top, TPO. That's all it is. I really don't know why my brain couldn't process what you were asking me, but it should have. They cooked me last night, and I was a little bit annoyed. I mean, cooked is not the right word. I took a trade last night. I'll show you guys. So, like, where was it? We've talked about this a little bit. Um, I guess it's maybe just not the best example, but like if I hide some of this stuff, whoops, bro. Um, I feel like the main issue was I jumped in, like maybe rushed is the right word. Yeah, so I think right here on the retest of the previous week Valeria low, I got in. And I saw all of this happening, right? Up to a point. But I ended up getting in a little bit late. I think I got in like right around here somewhere. And I was just like, whatever, it is what it is. I wasn't particularly worried about getting in late because I took two MES. So like really, really small trade. The whole thing was I was looking for like a good move with minimal contracts, right? So initially, this was what I was looking at. My stop loss was not that wide. My stop loss, I think, was right at 81. Yeah. So, risking 15 and a quarter points for 33 and a half, 2.2 risk to reward ratio, right? Well, so right when I was getting ready to go to bed, I think we were like on this downswing here. And at that point I was like, like I could probably tighten this up a little bit. That way I'm not risking as much money, whatever. So I tightened it up to where my stop was like right at 87. And then I woke up and I'm like, are you freaking serious? Like, if I had just left it where it was, we would have hit my take profit. But instead, they ended up, bro, stopping me out. But like, I would have been solid if I had just followed the initial plan. But instead, I got stopped right here. It's not a huge deal. Like, it wasn't like some massive loss or anything, but the win would have been really nice. It was, 33? Yeah, it's like $330, risking 130, I think, was initial. Anyway, I'm an idiot. Um, and then right after, yo, where is this? Um, okay, I'll just pull up this one. I don't know why that's not working, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. This is the same chart, just a different chart. I didn't even recognize that there's this buy-side imbalance right here. And basically I put my stop loss like above it or right at it or something like that. And I obviously should have had my stop loss below where I initially had it. So that was kind of a bummer. Pulling up these charts just reminded me that I had seen all of that. Just looking for imbalances right now. This is a good one. If we come back to here. So we're going to want to have that on our charts. I'm going to have to reload this. My cluster charts are not loading as well. So let me just reload this really quick so I can get the information. What's wrong with my TPO? What do you mean? I don't really use TPO. So I can recognize this is single prints from here to here. I can recognize this is a poor high. I just don't turn them on. It annoys me how slow it loads. And then for me, it just blocks like a lot of the chart. I don't know. I just don't use it. I don't really have a need for it, I guess. Every once in a while, I'll use it for like some stuff, but generally I just have it turned off. I don't use it. All right. I think this is going to be pretty significant. 600, 606. Where's that imbalance? The hell? No, there's no imbalance. Am I tripping? I'm so confused right now. I feel like I just looked at it. It's not on either of my charts. This is an imbalance. It's not printing though. And it's right in the area that I want to look at. I mean, I would have to do math, but this has to be 300% greater. It is than 68, 66 is 300% greater than 15, 14. The reason this isn't printing as an imbalance is because this is what, like 900% greater? See, this is one of the things I wish Quantower would fix. If I pull up my cluster chart settings, this should make sense. Okay, now why? I feel like I constantly have to redo this. So if this, I mean, now I changed the color of it. See, I'm used to this being yellow. I need to fix this, sorry. Actually, I'm used to this being the lowest. Okay. So this is 900% greater than 23. 6866 is 300% greater than 1514. Or it's between 300 and 600. But since these are not both 900% greater, it doesn't make a box, even though this is a double stacked imbalance here. One would be colored green and one is colored yellow, and it doesn't make a box, if that makes sense. Because what we're looking for is, let me see if I can just find one really quick. Like where the numbers are stacked together. So like here, there's two green numbers, and it prints a box. Again, if this was green and this is yellow, it won't make a box, if that makes sense. So then here's another one where this is green and this is green, and it prints a box. So we should have one here, but we don't. So I guess we make our own. And this is going to be an important level if we do revisit this, so we want to be very aware of it. Because, so this is like 600. Whoa, whatever happened there. 600 to 602. Or 603. Okay. So we have the imbalance there. And then if we zoom out, or sorry, if we look at our cluster charts, cluster charts gives us a bigger area that we want to watch. I did not want to do that. But you can see on our cluster charts, 602 up to like 608 is kind of the area to watch. And this is from today, this morning. .608 to 602. So we definitely want that on our chart. That's random. I wonder if I copy this here, does it put it in the same spot on SPY? It literally does. It doesn't make sense, though. It is something like this. All right. 653.26 to 652.75 is the range that we're going to want to watch for a bounce on SPY. Likelihood is not the best. Right now we're in space. Let me see. All right. I'm going to try to zoom in really close so you guys can see what I'm looking at. When, basically, like, when price is going to reject generally at, like, a volume shelf, it normally does it at the far side of the shelf. For a bounce, normally is going to be at the far side of the shelf. There is a shelf like pretty close to this right afterwards, but I think previous week value area low is potentially a good spot for a bounce tomorrow based on where price is trading. And if it does, then we probably want to close either at 658 and a quarter or 659. So there's a chance they're going to reject here, and there's a chance that we come to right about there. Okay? So, with that said, I'm actually going to leave these lines and put and I'm sure you guys can see on camera, I am super slumped down right now. Oh, sorry, I can't see the chat or anything because I have this on. Hey, Mike, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Yeah, I look super slumped down in my camera. However, my camera's not really doing it justice. I'm basically laying on the part that your butt goes on a chair. So yeah. All right, so for tomorrow, I would like to see a retest here. And then we're going to target there initially and possibly there. Right. The baby just woke up. How come babies are always so grumpy when they wake up? So then anything else here is going to be way less likely based on where price currently is. But obviously we would like to get in calls here. Obviously calls here. Highly unlikely. But with all the war news and everything else, like, anything's possible. Trump could fart and price could end up down here at the open. You know, um, pretty wild times. So I'm not going to leave anything off the table. Um, for putties, I don't know. Nothing's catching my eye, which I really just think tomorrow we run, but I could be wrong. Um, this would be the most likely scenario for puts. But also, they might want to bring price back down into here, but that might take a few days. But it is possible tomorrow. So, with that said, if we break below previous day value area high, we're definitely looking for this trade. But again, I think this falls into the less likely category. But I don't want to leave any possibilities off of the table. All right. Let me just read through chat because I missed quite a bit. Third quarter value area. Let me see if I can see what you're talking about. I mean, I'm guessing this is on futures, but this here. Yeah, this is probably better done on futures. Because I can't see JIT. I'm going to tell you guys about something. That way, if anybody has any suggestions for a little dilemma I have, yeah, it's basically the same. But yeah, I mean, definitely a spot, right? Um, and they bounce right at this volume shelf. So, like, if you're like, this is not a terrible area to be grabbing, you know, like long term calls or something. Um, anyway, I've been talking about doing a video series with my son, teaching him how to trade. And we recorded a video Sunday night. But I ran into an issue where both of us need access to TradingView. And I thought from the same IP address that we could both be logged in to my TradingView account. And we couldn't. And on a free account, there's no volume profile. So he can't even use volume profile, which is crazy. I mean, I don't mind paying for it for him if it's something he's going to be serious about. But if he's not serious about it, I don't want to waste my money on stuff that would be a waste of money. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, TPO for regular trading hours for weekly. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Yeah. I don't think it's bugged, though. Um, it's just annoying. Hey Nora, how you doing? Yeah, News Davis has just been nuts. Like the swings and craziness has been crazy. Hey, what's up, Stocks for real? Sorry, you thought about what, brother? Um, oh, fixed range volume profile. I mean, we could do that. It's kind of like a pain in the butt, but I mean, we could. Um, I guess the thing is not only. Oh, I'm sorry. You thought about teaching your kids. I'm guessing that's what you're referring to, stocks for real. Yeah, I mean, I definitely will teach him. He's super intelligent, and so, but also like I feel like teaching him. Obviously, I'm going to be dumbing things down like to a very basic level, and doing it with him, like I feel like people that are struggling to follow along at whatever speed I'm talking at would just bring it down to like its most basic form, and make it easier for those people to follow. So it's happening. I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of him being able to use TradingView, um, like maybe just screen share where he can take over my mouse. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I teach my kids as well. He's been reading. Um, he's read a technical analysis book. Um, so yeah. Um, Trying to figure out if there's anything else I need to talk about. I think that's it for tomorrow. Kids' music stuff is still going crazy for anybody that's interested. Um, Somebody replied to one of our posts today, and he owns a record label and said for the parents to reach out to him, which is nuts. And Stocks for Real, I think you should run that, bro. Um, Absolutely record you teaching your kids, um, because again, I feel like obviously with our children, we're going to be patient. We're going to take it to a really basic level, and I think that will it'll help a lot of people understand what we're teaching. Right? If we're taking it down to a basic form where a child can understand it, it will help. Um, I'm struggling for the word because like I don't want to make it. I'm not trying to suggest that people are stupid, but like there might be certain little things that people don't understand, and then when they hear it explained in very basic terms, it might click. And it might just be one component. Like they might understand very technical stuff about trading, but there's one stupid little area where it's just not clicking, and then they hear it explained in a simple format, and that might be the difference to where that switch happens in their brain. Um, and I'm all for it. So like a while back, me and Stocks for Rel had a conversation where I forget what it even was. Like he was teaching something on, I think it was like um, supply and demand or something like that. And he reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, like, because I started teaching something on supply and demand as well." And he's like, "Hey, like, I'm already doing supply and demand." And I'm like, "That's cool. I mean," um, and I basically was telling him like, I think the more of us teaching, regardless of if we're teaching the same thing or not, like I might say something that resonates with somebody, or he might say something that resonates with somebody. We all approach things from a slightly different perspective, right? We might be teaching the same information, but teaching from just a slightly different perspective or using a different verbiage or whatever else, it's all going to be beneficial information, right? So like if Stocks for Rel started doing a video teaching his kids, I wouldn't look at it and be like, "Oh, hey, he's copying me." Like, I don't even care. Run it. Because that's literally, again, for me, I'm sure all of you know here, um, for me, I do this because I want to help people. I want to help people get better. Um, and I don't care how that looks, you know? Like I'm never going to look at somebody else's YouTube channel and be like, "Oh, they copied me." Like even if they did. I think the only time I've ever been like upset about a YouTube channel is if they're scamming people. Um, I don't even know why I keep forgetting, like Silo, um, ITC, people like that. Those kind of pages bother me. Um, and the only time I've been upset with like somebody doing something similar to me is when they've literally just taken my videos and posted them as their own. That bothers me. But other than that, like doing the same thing or a class on the same topic, like, pff, awesome. I might even learn something from your video. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, there might be a component I don't understand. There might be a component somebody else doesn't understand. And that different perspective could be the bridge from not understanding to understanding. And it doesn't matter, where the source is. What matters is that we have like good people that are not trying to take advantage of people, not trying to scam people, and not trying to make money because they're not successful traders, right? We want people that actually know what they're doing, that have good intentions, that are trying to help people get better and have a better life, whatever that looks like. So that's what it's all about for me. But for you people that follow me, you already know that. Like, that's what it's about. I'm kind of like blabbering because I feel like I'm missing something. And I don't know what it is. I'm getting really cool scam emails about how... Oh, never mind. That's not a scam. It said like something, my invoice was paid, and I'm like, dude, I don't have an account with you. And then I realized what it was, and I'm like, oh, I actually do. Never mind. That's weird. Like my brain is in space today. I feel like I'm not saying something, and I don't want to end the video if there is something that I've forgotten to say. This is kind of cool. I told people to take profits on this. That's wild. Bitcoin needs to break out of this, whatever, 73,590. I guess if it comes to me, whatever it is that I feel like I'm not saying, I'll just post it at the Discords later. I do have a couple of messages, so let me just check those and make sure it's not somebody asking a question or something. Bro, I slept. That's the crazy part. I think I went to bed at like 9 last night. And then I woke up at like 12:30. And then I don't remember exactly what time I went back to bed, but like I was awake and I was hungry. So I went downstairs and I was like watching YouTube videos and I ate some food. And then I came back to bed at like, I think 3 in the morning. And I was watching some more YouTube videos in bed. And then I finally got tired, so I turned everything off and I went back to sleep. And I woke up at like 11:15 this morning. So I definitely slept, just interrupted sleep. But yeah, I slept. Anyway, I'm going to call it a day because it's not coming to me, whatever it is that is like bugging me that I feel like I'm not mentioning. Let me post these pictures of this, and then if you guys have any questions, now would be the time. If you have any questions, now's the time. Oh yeah. My sleep schedule is crazy because of working night shifts, so I'm always switching from days to nights and nights to days, and um, so sometimes I just wake up at weird hours. It's not a big deal. Alrighty. Um, I guess that's gonna do it. Davis, yeah, I need to. It's been way too long. Um, I mean, the reality is like, where is it? I have been. I don't want to say struggling because that's not the word, but just like something's off, and I have not been wanting to bring anybody along for the ride. I mean, I'm still up on the month, like 36%, but I don't want to be bringing people along for this trash. So, yeah. Um, and it's actually been giving me like a little bit of anxiety. I don't even know how to put it into words, but like, um, when I call out losing trades, trading live, I don't know. I just feel really bad about all the people following me, and then I get anxiety about it. So I got to put that to the side. Because it's weird because that never used to affect me, but recently, the last few months, it has been, and that's why probably why I've been trading live a lot less. Um, at least in Shorty's Discord. I've been trading live, but then like on Zoom, and the thing was like I don't even know how many times, but probably like three or four, maybe five times. I've traded live, and I've forgotten to go live in Shorty's Discord. Like I had every intention of going live in Shorty's Discord, um, but I got caught up in like whatever, setting up the Zoom meeting, blah 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 blah, and intended on going live in Shorty's Discord, and for whatever reason forgot to. I think the last time I traded live, it was like I was just about done, and it was a good live trading session, and there were some really good call outs, and then I looked over and I was like, shit, I forgot to go live in Shorty's. So it's not intentional, it's just like stuff. But yeah, I will. I'll definitely be going live more often. I'll probably be trading live, um, well, possibly even tomorrow morning. I don't know. We'll see how things go. I have my son wants to go like to the beach, specifically to tide pools, and I know low tide tomorrow is like right around 10:15 in the morning. So I'll probably go live, um, and then it'll be shorter because then we're gonna pack up and head to the beach, to be there in time to. Well, no, I mean I probably will go live tomorrow. Um, so to what Stocks for Rel just said, he said, what are your current challenges you have in trading, and do you think there's another level for you to reach that you're still seeking to achieve? If so, what gets you over that level, and what does it look like? It's a really good question, um, and I can kind of explain where I'm at with trading. Um, I think um, my biggest struggle right now is probably overconfidence. And what ends up happening is, um, let me pull my log back up really quick because it'll make sense. I think I need to go back to one trade a day, is really what I think, actually. Or maybe two trades a day. But so what ends up happening is, I mean, it doesn't look like it if you're just looking at red and green, or maybe it does if you're just looking at green, right? what ends up happening is I do really well, and then I think I get overconfident and I do really crappy. Um, and then I'll ground myself and I'll review like some kind of. It doesn't even matter what it is. Like I can literally review something I know inside and out. And it's not even about like learning what is being taught, but it's more about grounding myself and bringing myself back down to not being overly confident, if that makes sense. Um, as far as you asking, do I think there's another level for me to reach? Always. Um, I don't care who you are, how good you are, um, whatever it is you're talking about. So I'm not even in this perspective. I'm not even talking about trading. I'm talking about life. Like if you ever feel like you've reached the top, you're nuts. Like there's always more knowledge um, to take in. Right? There's always another level. There's always more to learn. Um, so no, like I don't. Of course, in trading, I feel like I have tons to learn. Um, like if I was looking at the top, I would be looking at somebody like Shorty, and I'm not there. Um, but I know for Shorty, even if you watch Shorty over time from like when I met him, like when I met Shorty, I was like, wow, like this guy is amazing. He's an insane trader. And the person he is today versus when I met him, he's such a better trader today than he was when I met him. And he still has room to grow, right? And I'm still not as good as him, so I definitely have room to grow. Um, the next level, definitely a lot of it is mental, right? A lot of mental stuff. Um, I've noticed recently, like if you look at my trade log, right? So like, um, I want to find a day that's a good example. So like here is a decent example. I took two trades. I lost one trade and I won one trade, and I'm still up 2% on the day, or 1.7, whatever. So it's still a profitable day, two trades. So I'm obviously taking, like one risk, two reward on my trades as a minimum. And so I think that's an important thing to recognize is like, or I mean, here's the inverse, right? Two trades and I'm red on the day. The difficulty with just looking at it from that perspective though is like, it could still be one risk, two reward, which it is because that's what I do. But it could have been a smaller trade. Like the winning trade could have been like a smaller profit target and a tighter stop loss. And so that it doesn't look like it's one risk, two reward because the day is red. But recently, I don't know why, but I've been struggling a little bit with like not trailing my stop loss. And, I'm always happy to talk about that. I preach it like, don't trail your stop loss. Let either your profit target get hit or your stop loss get hit. I'm pretty good at doing that, but sometimes for whatever reason, I don't know. I think it's specifically when like I'm going through it and like I'm having like a losing streak or whatever, that like I'll just want to lock in that profit like for the psychological aspect of like taking a win, if that makes sense. So that's something I've been struggling with a little bit lately. Like I know this day where I made like 5.2% could have been way huger if I had just trusted my levels. I ended up closing like my third trade. So my first trade was a loser. My second trade played out. It was a winner. It hit my levels. My third trade, I took it and I was up pretty good on the trade, and I trailed my stop, and like immediately it got hit, and then it rocketed and went to the level I was expecting it to go to. And if I had just not touched anything, like this probably would have been like a 20, 30% winning day. But so those are the things that I'm like battling with internally right now. Um, and I think a lot of it is just grounding myself and not allowing myself to get overconfident. Um, yeah. Actually, like my trade, this is a good example of exactly what I'm talking about. So if I look at the trade I took last night, I just have to find it. Oh, I'm on an 8-hour chart. That's why I can't find it. Um, why doesn't this even look right? It's weird. Oh, this is today. None of this looks right. Sunday. Is it because I moved? No, that's not. This is. Okay. This is today. This was my trade. Okay, right here. Sorry. I'm awake now. Um, so normally this would be my entry, right? Came down, retested here, enter long. And this was my price target was the previous day value area high. Um, so my trade should have looked something like this. Um, I'm not even going to move the stop loss. I'll just leave it how it is. It's 2.5 to 1. I wouldn't have got stopped out. It would have hit my profit target. But what ended up happening was when this level got hit, I wasn't at my computer. So I ended up getting in like right around here. That's going to have to be good enough. Same profit target. And my stop loss was originally at 90, or sorry, at 71, I want to say. That's not right. 81. Something like this. And I think part of the problem is, there we go. That's closer. So yeah, something like this. I ended up chasing, which I don't normally do. And I got in late. And I was just like, oh, it's fine. My reasoning was I'm just going to trade really small. I took 2 MES, which is a size that I really don't ever use. But I was like, if it hits, like it was actually like 33 points. So this isn't quite accurate, but we're in there like close enough, I guess. Um, it was like, would I be happy with $330 in my sleep? And the answer is yes, right? And to make that $330, I was risking like 132. And so I was just like, yeah, whatever, it's cool, that's good. I'm happy with my risk. I'm happy with the reward. If it does it in my sleep, like great, like nothing like waking up to money. And so I entered the trade late, which I just shouldn't have done. And then I ended up going to bed, I think like right on this candle here, like, or these candles, somewhere in here. Like it was on a pullback. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's going to bounce, whatever. No big deal. But what I ended up doing was right before I went to bed, I was like, you know what? Let me move my stop to, I think it was like 86 or 87. I can't remember exactly. And I don't even know why I did it. I just didn't want to risk as much as I was risking, even though it was nothing. They come down, stop me out, um, do a nice bounce, reject. Wouldn't have stopped me out if I didn't move everything. And then they run and hit my profit target. And so, um, just stupid stuff like that. Like when I woke up and I saw everything, I was like, oh, I mean, of course they hit the level I was targeting. Um, but I'm like, why would I be in a fear-based conversation about my stop loss? Right? Because when I originally had planned my stop loss, like it wasn't just based on BS. Like I was kind of looking at, um, I was looking left. I don't remember exactly what I was looking at, but I think I was looking at this, like here, as a support area. And like if they're going to stop me out, they'll probably come to here and then go. Um, so like I had a plan and the plan worked, and nothing like not following your plan and getting stopped out because you don't trust yourself, um, and have the play work out. But then the worst component is if I had just, like if I didn't chase, um, obviously the risk to reward, even if I did the same exact like stop loss at 81, um, I'm making 4.5 for every dollar risked. Um, and I'm making way more money. And so I'm sure like, or like that trade right there, 100% is being overconfident. Um, not, um, I guess it's FOMO, right? Like I shouldn't chase, and I know I shouldn't chase. Whenever a price comes to my level and I miss it, I normally just ignore it and it doesn't affect me. I don't know why I decided to click last night, and enter late. And I think, again, the reasoning was like, oh, I'm just going to size really small, and just kind of be okay with the outcome. Um, but then instead of being okay with the outcome, I moved my stop loss, and that fucked me up, right? And that's stupid. So, um, yeah, so to kind of recap, my main issues as a trader right now is doing well, getting overconfident, and letting some of my rules slide. And then as soon as I do that, I know I just have to like really just study anything. It doesn't even matter what it is, just to kind of ground myself and center myself. And then I go back to doing well again. Um, so I think the real thing, and I guess this is a great question because it's really making me reflect. Um, I know that I have to stop letting rules slide. That's the takeaway. Is like, I need to stick to my rules, my trading rules, and not let those slide. So, yeah, T Forrester, you got to find a good level for a stop loss. Basically, where they invalidate your trade. Um, and such a great way of doing it is like, I mean, I'm trying to find an example for you, which is kind of hard to do this last week because they've been just wild. But if we look at like, I'll show you an example. Um, within like lots of examples. But for me, like this is a specific one where I'm just going to use this as an example, even though this is probably not a trade I would take. But if we look here, we have like a little bull flag. And the reason I say it's little is the flag is tiny. It doesn't, normally they come down lower. They'll retrace lower. But the key here is we broke through resistance, right? Had a little flag, and then they ran. Whenever you have a bull flag or a bear flag, You can draw fibs top to bottom on bull flags, right? And then bottom to top on bear flags. Um, and then there's a few key things with a bull flag. If they break the 50% fib, then that's where the flag becomes invalid, right? Normally, your entry on bull flags and bear flags would be the golden pocket, the 682 fib to the 618 fib, or 618 to 682. In this case, they didn't retrace quite that far. They just came down to the 786 fib and bounced. But so normally, what you would do is you get your long position tool. Even if you enter at the top of the golden pocket, your take profit is going to be the 272 level. And then you want your stop loss to be a little bit below the 50% retracement, because if they break through this, they just invalidated my trade, right? And once your trade is invalid, there's no point in being in it anymore, right? So this is an example where we can use Fibonacci to give us price target, stop loss, entry, everything, right? Again, in this instance, they didn't come down to the entry level. That's okay. That happens kind of frequently. But when they do come to this level, like, it's generally a really good, easy trade. You never want to put your stop loss right at the level, because if they're doing a liquidity grab, what they're going to do is go just a little bit below it, and then they'll go up and hit the price target. So they'll grab your liquidity if you're right at the stop, or right at the place where your trade would get invalidated, and then they'll run. So stop loss a little bit below. Again, make at least $2 for every dollar you risk. And with this, again, like, we know where the trade is invalidated. And now I'll show an example where we don't know where it would be invalidated. Let's see. I think I'll just use this as an example. Here we broke through, or actually technically this would be the better example, but they didn't give us a clean retest of the previous week value area high, but here we broke through, right? We got a nice move up. Here's our retest of, and this poor low should be deleted, right? Anyway, sorry. Here they gave us a nice retest of the previous week value area high. And it doesn't even matter. Like, technically, depending on how you trade, like, you could target the November POC. You could also look for an exit. If I show this, it's going to look too freaking perfect, but it is what it is. Like, I don't know. Actually, let me look at 30-minute charts so I can try to be more realistic about this. It's kind of iffy. Like, if I took this trade, I would probably be looking in this range here to close. And basically all I did is the top of these candles right here, where we came up, rejected, 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 rejected. So this was resistance at one point in time. And then over here, we sliced through it, right? When we came back below, we sliced through it. It's probably going to act as resistance again. It might not. So looking left, this is not like a terrible place to take profit. There's a chance I might have tried to target the November POC. It's kind of hard to say, knowing that it rejected here and went lower, right? So I don't want to be like, oh, dude, I walk on water and I would have known exactly where to close the trade. I don't know. In the moment, I might have targeted this. I might have targeted the top of these candles right here, the body, not the wicks, the body of the candles right here. Not really sure. What I'm actually more concerned about is showing like the stop loss portion. So if this is my entry, this is my take profit level, we'll say. If I wanted to be right, I could say my take profit level's there, but that's not even what's important. When I'm looking at my stop loss, like right now, I don't even want to see this. I want to look here and kind of figure out like where would I want to put my stop loss if I was in this trade. Again, the body of these candles here, kind of like to the body of these candles here, right? You could even possibly go a little bit higher, and say something like this, right? I want to start with this original idea, because again, to me, this is an area where we rejected, right? It turned into support. And now, if we come down here, I want it to act as support again. Going even further to the left, they're rejecting here again. I mean, obviously this candle sliced through. But it looks like it's acting as support here. It's acting as resistance here. Resistance, resistance, support. So for me, right away, like I'm thinking if I can put my stop loss like down here somewhere and I'm still getting 1 risk, 2 reward, great. If I have to put it here to get 1 risk, 2 reward, that's fine as well. I got to look and see. And so right here, I'm getting basically 1.5 risk to 1 reward, or sorry, 1 risk, 1.5 reward. So again, wait, what did I delete? I don't want to do that. If I can get closer to this, but still be below it and have that 2 to 1 risk to reward, right? Based on what I was looking at, if they're going to invalidate my trade, it's happening in this green box or possibly at this dashed line. If they do a little liquidity grab and come down in here and run, great. Ideally, I would like this to be a little bit wider, but I can't. So there's a chance I don't take this trade, right? Just depends on how I'm feeling in the moment. Like, this is probably a little bit tighter than I would like for it to be. However, if I delete this line, or if I even move this line, right, and delete this box, now this looks way more appealing, because if they're doing a liquidity sweep, they're just going to come down here and then they're going to bounce, right? So I've got room, if they are doing a liquidity sweep. Hopefully this makes sense. I don't know that this is the best example, but I'm just trying to explain like how I think and what I look at when I'm looking for stop losses or places to put my stop loss, where I feel like if price goes below that level, then I want to be out of the trade anyway because my trade's invalidated, right? And that's how you want to think about it, is it's invalidated versus whatever, like having my stop loss here and then price does this, and instead of going, oh, my trade's invalidated, I'm like, oh no, let me move it lower, because maybe they'll bounce, or hopefully, like, God, please make them bounce, right? And then it keeps coming lower, and then I'm like, oh, let me go even more lower, and like, please bounce it, please, please, please. Like, no, like, my trade is invalid at this point, and I need to get the fuck out, right? Take my money and run. And when I say take my money, I'm saying, like, fine, let them hit, that stop loss, and I lost a little bit of money, but I'm not going to risk more money or throw more money at a bad trade, right? I need to accept that I was wrong. And whatever that is, right? Like, the setup could have been amazing, but even the most perfect setup doesn't work 100% of the time. And so whatever, either I'm wrong or it was a good setup, but it went against me, I need to accept and really just be okay with, at this point, they've invalidated this trade. Let me just look for the next good one versus trying to throw more money at a losing trade, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully that helps. But yeah, they've been wild lately. All right. With that said, that's that. No. You didn't take me off topic. That was perfect. Like, that's something that people need to hear. I think it's really important to have in your mind, like, wherever this trade gets invalidated, it's time for me to dip, right? I mean, this is probably the best example here. It hasn't happened, but if I'm getting in calls here, as soon as they break below the bottom single print, like, they've invalidated my trade, right? So with that, like, if I'm just playing from zone to zone, something like this, I can put my stop loss. Wow, actually, maybe that's too tight. Yeah, it's too tight. I would have to risk more profit-wise. So I can do something like this where once they do, or if they do come down like this, in my mind, I can say it's okay. Like, at this point, they've basically invalidated my trade. And if they go lower and hit my stop loss, it's okay. The trade was invalidated. It's time to, like, pull up my socks and look for a better trade. And it just is what it is. Like, that's probably the hardest thing in trading, is that you can be 100% correct in your analysis. You can be 100% correct in your entry. But the difficulty with trading is there is no setup that gives you 100% win rate. And so we have to accept that we're going to be wrong, whatever it is, 30, 40% of the time, 50% of the time. And when we're wrong, that's like that little thing in your mind has to go, oh, this trade is invalidated. Let me just forget about it. I'm not going to throw more good money at an invalidated trade. Okay? So I think that's just an important word to have in the back of your head. Oh, invalidated, I'm out, I'm done. There's no reason to chase. Let me just look for another setup, right? So hopefully that helps you guys. I'm going to go spend some time with my family. Y'all have a good one. Exactly, T. Foster. Exactly it. All right. Y'all have a good one. I even, at this point, kind of hate to say this, but I'm pretty sure I'll be live tomorrow. Shorty's Discord. I will do my absolute best to include you guys. And if I'm not live, then whatever. It is what it is, but should happen tomorrow. And hopefully I see you all then. As always, much love, much respect, y'all. Peace out. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, just in case, if I don't go live in the morning, I'm probably not going to be doing a video tomorrow because I'm going to go with my family to the beach. So I probably won't be home to go live. Okay? Y'all take care. Have a good one. Bye.